I'm Andrew Tamburino, and I'm here with Christy Mitchell, Kayla Scott, Moasia Jackson, and Joshua St. Hill, here to talk about the March on Washington. So, Christy, I'd like to go ahead and start by asking, what was the march?
Historically, the March on Washington, it broadened the base of the civil rights movement, and the march was not just an African American action. It was an action by African Americans with whites together, and not just the leaders of the black organizations, but leading Catholic, Protestants, and Jewish spokesmen, and it rallied and called people all together in the streets, and we all responded together.
Great. So what was the significance of the march?
Well, on August 28, 1963, approximately 250,000 people converged on the national capitol to demand civil rights for African Americans. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was one of the largest political rallies in history, and where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his "I Have a Dream" speech.
Great. So I'd like to ask, what was the reason for the March on Washington?
Well, Andrew, I'd like to answer that question. The purpose of the march was basically to advocate for the civil and economic rights of African Americans. It was put together by A. Philip Randolph and Bayard Rustin, and they created an alliance of civil rights, religious organizations and stuff like that, under the banner of Jobs and Freedom.
Great. So what were the accomplishments and impacts of the march, either soon hereafter or even as time went along?
Well, the march was very successful in pressuring the administration of John F. Kennedy to initiate a strong civil rights bill in Congress. This event was also the event where Martin Luther King gave his infamous famous I Have a Dream speech on August 28, 1963.
How powerful was the speech of his, and what do you think his dream means for people then, for people today?
Well, we could all give our opinions on what we feel the speech meant, but the speech itself speaks volumes. So, let's go back in time.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Yeah. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.